Yes, my friends, we're all excited about the LA Rams' new picks. I already feel butterflies in my stomach, imagining the start of next season. Man, if Sean McVay gets the team in shape, we have a great. And I want to start there. I'll tell you everything I've learned. But before we continue, make sure you've liked this video. But only do so if you've been a Los Angeles Rams fan for more than 10 years. And if you can, comment like this: Go Rams! 2026 will be ours. Let's get straight to the point, because the biggest news in Los Angeles right now is the selection of quarterback Ty Simpson with the 13th overall pick, a decision that divided fans, surprised the entire league, and at the same time, quietly excited people within the team. And the more you delve into who Ty Simpson is, the more this selection starts to make sense. We're talking about a 23-year-old quarterback, born on December 1st, 2002, who spent 4 full years at Alabama, one of the most demanding football environments in the country. And yes, one of the first criticisms you hear is that he's an older rookie, turning 24 during the season. But here's what the Rams clearly value: experience, maturity, and resilience. Because this isn't a typical path for a prospect. Simpson was a 5-star recruit from Martin, Tennessee, highly sought after by major programs, and yet he chose to remain committed to Alabama despite the adversity. And that matters more than people realize. He only made 15 career starts, which on paper might look like a red flag. But inside the Rams organization, it's being viewed differently. This is a quarterback who stayed in a competitive system, learned behind top-level talent, and absorbed NFL-level concepts for years. He didn't run from competition in the era of the transfer portal. He embraced it. And that tells you a lot about the mindset Sean McVay and Les Snead are betting on. Now let's talk about what really got their attention: the arm talent. Because when you turn on the tape, it's clear. Simpson is an extremely accurate passer, posting a 64.5% completion rate. And internally, there's belief that number could have been significantly higher with better situational support. Efficiency is the foundation of his game. He's not just throwing the ball, he's controlling the offense. There were multiple standout performances that really elevated his draft profile. Games against Wisconsin, Georgia, and Missouri showed his ability to perform under pressure, especially on the road. And maybe the most impressive moment? Leading a 17-0 comeback victory against Oklahoma in the college football playoff. A game that showcased not just talent, but composure and leadership in high-stakes situations. That's the kind of trait you can't teach. But here's where things get even more interesting, and where Simpson starts to fit perfectly into what the Rams have been quietly looking for: mobility. For years, the Rams have operated with Matthew Stafford, one of the most gifted pocket passers in NFL history. But behind the scenes, there has been a growing desire to add a different dimension to the offense: a quarterback who can extend plays, move outside the pocket, and create with his legs when needed. And Simpson brings exactly that. He had over 40 designed quarterback runs in a single season at Alabama, showing that he's not just mobile, he's a legitimate rushing threat. But what stands out even more is his ability to keep plays alive. He can evade pressure, reset, and still deliver accurate throws downfield. That dual threat capability adds a layer to the Rams' offense that hasn't been there in years. And yet, despite all the physical tools, what may have ultimately sealed the deal for the Rams is something you don't see on stat sheets. It's who he is. This is a quarterback who describes himself as a student of the game. Someone who chose Alabama specifically because of its NFL-style structure, wanting to be challenged daily and surrounded by elite talent. He's the son of a coach, grew up immersed in football, and it shows in the way he processes the game. In fact, during his time at Alabama, he was given the freedom to make pre-snap adjustments at the line of scrimmage, something rarely seen at the college level, especially for a first-year starter. That speaks volumes about his football IQ and the trust coaches had in him. And then there's his mindset coming into Los Angeles. When asked about his goals for his rookie season, Simpson didn't talk about awards or headlines. he made it clear. This is Matthew Stafford's team. He understands his role. He wants to learn, develop, and absorb everything he can from one of the best quarterbacks of this generation. That humility, combined with talent, that's exactly what the Rams were looking for. Because, make no mistake, this is not about replacing Stafford today. This is about securing the future. The Rams haven't taken a quarterback in the first round in over a decade, and they don't make that kind of move lightly. This is a long-term investment in a player they believe can eventually take over the franchise. And there are even small details that give you insight into who Simpson is. For example, he's a huge Lego enthusiast, and he's talked about how building Legos gives him a structured, methodical contrast to the chaos of playing quarterback. It might sound minor, but it reflects how his mind works: disciplined, patient, and detail-oriented. So when you put it all together, the arm talent, the mobility, the intelligence, the mentality, you start to see the vision. The Rams didn't just draft a quarterback, they drafted a plan. Now the big question is how quickly that plan develops, and whether Simpson can truly become the next face of the franchise when the time comes. So let me ask you this, Rams fans, after hearing all of this, are you starting to believe in Ty Simpson as the future of this team, or are you still not convinced about this pick? Picking up right where we left off, there's something else that continues to stand out the deeper you analyze this situation. And it's how intentional the Rams were with every layer of this decision. This wasn't just about finding a talented quarterback. It was about finding the right personality to place inside a locker room that already has an established leader in Matthew Stafford. Because, let's be honest, not every young quarterback would handle this situation the right way. Being drafted 13th overall comes with expectations, pressure, and attention. And yet, everything we've seen from Ty Simpson suggests he's not walking into Los Angeles trying to take over. He's walking in, trying to learn. And that matters more than people realize. When he openly acknowledges that this is Stafford's team and focuses on improving day by day, that's not just media talk. That aligns perfectly with what the Rams value internally. They don't need noise. They don't need controversy. They need stability, especially at the quarterback position. And Simpson brings that calm, focused mentality that allows the organization to develop him without distractions. At the same time, don't confuse patience with lack of ambition. Because inside that mindset, there's a competitor who has already shown he can step up in big moments. Those comeback wins, those high-pressure road performances, they weren't accidents. They were signs of a quarterback who, when called upon, can deliver. And the Rams are clearly betting that once he fully develops within this system, those flashes can turn into consistency at the NFL level. So now everything comes down to progression. How quickly can he adapt? How much can he absorb from Stafford and McVay? And how ready will he be when that opportunity finally comes? That's the part of the story that's just getting started. Let's go Rams!